Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the prelims for Cage Warriors 103, coming to you live from the KB Holland here in beautiful Copenhagen. My name is Brad Morton. I'll be calling the action from cage side as ever, alongside my broadcast colleague Josh Palmer. Josh, it's great to be back here in Copenhagen, and we've got a fantastic prelim card coming up.
Yeah, we certainly do. Venue's starting to fill up nicely. Always a fun time here in Copenhagen. 3 matches on the prelims today. Let's take a quick look at them. In the bantamweight division, Johan SEGAS is going to be taking on Mac Pomaning. And then in the middleweight division, we're going to move on to Andreas Gustafsson taking on Ismar Blahohe. And a lightweight bout rounds out our prelims this evening. Manolo Zucchini taking on Danny Mathiasen.
That's a fantastic preliminary card here in Copenhagen. So without further ado, let's go to our MC in the cage and get proceedings underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, mine damer og herrer, welcome to Cage Warriors 103 from the completely sold out Copenhagen, Denmark. I only have one question. Are you ready for the first fight? Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the first fight? Our first preliminary bout is in the bantamweight division. First to the cage, in the blue corner, please welcome Johan SEGAS.
And without further ado, we'll get things underway here in Copenhagen. Bantamweight action on deck. Making his way to the cage is the young 24-year-old Johan the Silencer SEGAS.
Very atmospheric walkout music for this young man. Bringing a pro record of 1-0 into the cage this evening. That win was a 27-second knockout back in May of last year. So a little bit of time out of the cage for him. Always interesting with these young guys to see how much they progress with layoffs between each fight. Did have a mixed amateur record, 2-2. Did have a good head kick KO of Joe Harding, though. It's worth noting. And, you know, he stumbled against opponents who had significantly more experience than him. So, you know, I think tonight he's going to be looking to move forward well. He stands a very good chance of doing so, and it's going to take, you know, someone with a bit of nous to put him away this evening.
Well, you mentioned that head kick KO, Josh. That was one that MMA fans may remember went viral at the Cage Warriors Academy Southeast not too long ago. He was getting clowned, he was getting jived on, but he showed incredible patience in that scenario, and then got that huge head kick knockout. So we know we're dealing with a mature head on young shoulders here, and we know we're dealing with someone with big knockout power.
Yeah, he has quite a lot of it's a wrestling style, really, is what he brings to the cage. And, you know, that match with Joe Harding exposed that, like, flamboyant striking from the outside could perhaps expose him a little. But, as you say, he stayed very patient, and he took the chance when he got it. And, you know, it's a great win to have on his record, for sure.
Representing the MMA factory in France, and they've always been well turned out here on Cage Warriors. A long history with that camp and this promotion. Johan SEGAS looking to be the latest member of the MMA factory squad to make an impression here in Copenhagen.
And his opponent to the cage in the red corner, Mac Pomaning.
Put it to bed. Walkout tune of the night's already been won. Mac Pomaning making his Cage Warriors debut. A young man who I've been fortunate to see quite a lot of, Josh, throughout his amateur career. He's campaigned at flyweight and bantamweight. Always looked very good, and he's going to be looking to make a big impression here tonight at Cage Warriors. Yeah,
as you mentioned, it's his pro debut, but you can see he's bringing a lot of confidence down to the cage, and that's probably due to his fairly extensive amateur record. 6-1 is the official count. He suggests he's had maybe a few more than that, though. 4 choke wins on his record from those 6 victories, 3 by guillotine. So if he is fighting a wrestler tonight who shoots in, look for him to grab a hold of that neck very quickly indeed. Last match was September of last year. Picked up 3 very good wins in 2018 against exceptionally credible opponents. So clearly a tough young man looking to make a good start in his pro career.
Absolutely. He's based here in Copenhagen, Denmark, with the Art SWAT team, and was flying to England for competition. You know, this is not a guy who's content to stay in his own backyard and take soft opponents. He's flown to a different country, and as is often the case for travelling fighters, you face the top boy in their hometown. Matt Promeny did just that, and you know, he beat most of them.
Yeah, there's no easy bouts when you go into someone else's backyard, and then you've got to contest with the crowd as well. Of course, it's his hometown, so to speak, this evening. It does look as though he's going to be somewhat the smaller fighter physically in the cage. As you mentioned, he's campaigned at lower weight classes before. So it's just another thing he's got to deal with. It's going to be interesting to see if there's a feeling out process in this one.
Introducing first, in the blue corner, he stands 5 feet 5 inches tall, 166 centimeters. He weighed in 135 pounds, 61.2 kilos. He has a professional record, 1 win, no losses. Fighting out of Liborg, France, Johan SILENCER SEGAS. And his opponent in the red corner, he stands 5 feet 5 inches tall, 166 centimeters, weighing 134.1 pounds, 60.8 kilos. He has his professional debut tonight from Copenhague, Denmark, Matt Promeny. And your referee for this bout, Rich Mitchell.
Referee Rich Mitchell about to get this one underway. 3 5-minute rounds if they need them. In the Cage Warriors bantamweight division, Johan SEGAS in the black shorts, Matt Promeny in the yellow with black trim. Touch of gloves, and we are underway here at Cage Warriors 103.
Yeah, Promeny with the center of the cage at the moment.
And already we're seeing that very bouncy striking style that we've come to recognize from a lot of French fighters over the years.
Yeah, staying light on his feet, motioning that we're going to see some of the more flamboyant strikes. But he's got to keep moving. He can't stay in a straight line, and that's a good shot from Promeny. Turns the corner nicely. He's got to scramble here, though, looking to take the back early. He's got wrist control. He's going to come over the top with the left arm, get that seatbelt grip, allow him to really attach tightly to his opponent's back.
Promeny's always done his best work with that close quarters, high pressure wrestling style.
I mean, it was a low shot. He almost got sprawled out there, and he managed to power through. And as soon as you turn the angle, it really kills your opponent's hip pressure. One hook in. Most critically, it's the hook closest to the fence here.
Promeny letting SEGAS carry all his weight there. And referee Rich Mitchell just warning SEGAS for hooking his fingers into the glove of Matt Promeny there.
Yeah, it's hard to avoid. Promeny's looking to triangle his legs inside around that single hook from the back. It's going to allow him to try and stay a bit more attached. Staying very calm, very composed. You know, they're not very sweaty yet. We're only coming up to the 2-minute mark in this first one, so it's really all about grip fighting, this one. SEGAS has got to block that right leg of Promeny from swinging around on the hip, getting both hooks.
Both these men have actually campaigned at flyweight before, and it's an impressive feat from SEGAS getting down to 125.
Yeah, he's not a big 135er by any means. As you can see here, he's attached to the back, you know, but he does look just a little bit smaller than SEGAS tonight. And this is a lot of control for Promeny, but not really offense, and you know, impact and dominance is what the judges are going to be looking at here.
And you see the referee there just warning Promeny to use that position. He's going to want to see him either advance or start attacking somehow.
Yeah, we see this is interesting. He hasn't tried to drop him down to the ground. He hasn't tried to jump up and take his back. He's staying very static, and he's content to have this time. The knees to the back of the quadricep here are really nice, but you know, he's got to do something significant to maintain this position.
Still staying very tight to Johan SEGAS.
Well, there we go. That kind of mat return, just bully your opponent, drag them down. It does take a bit more energy, but it's going to tire them out equally, if not more.
Looking to kick the legs out from underneath SEGAS there was Promeny.
There's a borderline, isn't there, between the foot sweep being a kick and a sweep. And that was a strong sole of the foot from Promeny.
Surely, in terms of the mental battle of wills, this is a big win for Promeny in the first round. He really has shut down the more flamboyant striker of the pair.
He has, but he hasn't been able to progress his position and score much on offense. Now, he's got to be careful to try and keep the back here. He's done a good job of staying on top, almost getting thrown off in the reversal. And he's got both hooks now and a minute to work.
And the crowd coming alive here in Copenhagen. Promeny trying to force a mistake.
Listen to the crowd. Just, you know, it was a knee. It didn't land. It looked impressive, but the crowd cheering every strike on.
And Promeny using an elbow for the first time then in mixed martial arts competition.
Good change of direction from SEGAS. For the first time, he's the one pressuring. You see Promeny just thinking about the guillotine here. It's an odd tactic to sit your hips down against the cage like that.
Don't forget to join in the conversation with us tonight on social media. Use the hashtag CW103 at Cage Warriors on Twitter, Cage Warriors on the Facebook machine.
SEGAS has got to do something here because he's got a static position again, like Promeny had, but he's got much less time to maintain it, and it's slightly less dominant because he's still in front of his opponent. Oh, guillotine attempt. Not long though, and head pops out easily.
Well, we've seen Promeny get the win by guillotine on a number of occasions before, Josh. A bit of a go-to submission for him, and he went for it at the end of the first round. Their time, his biggest enemy, though.
Yeah, but it was a sensible decision from that kind of time standpoint, right? He had less than 10 seconds left. He might as well attempt the submission and try and score points for a near submission as opposed to just being pressed against the cage. But really, you know, we're seeing the replays here. He controlled most of that, and this was a great early shot. And watch how he turns the corner.
Great reactionary shot there from Promeny, catching the leg on the entry and then really getting low. And as you say, Josh, did a good job not to get sprawled out on there.
Yeah, it's all about how fast can you remove your weight from underneath your opponent. You know, cutting that angle really puts you in a good position. And he spent most of this match with this single back hook against the cage. Not able to do too much of value, though.
Well, Promeny entering the second round for the first time as a professional. He has been the distance at amateur before. Johan SEGAS with a, Josh, a single TKO victory as a professional in his career thus far. Both guys with a bit of experience in the amateur ranks, though, clearly showing here.
Let's see how long it takes Promeny to shoot, and if he sets up that shot. Does look a little bit tentative on the feet comparatively, perhaps.
From previous fights I've seen of his, the boxing seems to be competent, will probably be a fair way to describe it. Early in his career, he does have a grappling base, and the gym that he comes from is a grappling-based gym, but always going to be looking to add things to his game.
That was a great shot from SEGAS. It's a good example of how to set the strike up with a big overhand right. He changed level without having to withdraw his hand close through. He's earned himself a really nice takedown early on here.
And this is not something Promeny's used to seeing from his opponents, people willing to take him down or people capable of taking him down. So you've got to ask the question here, what's this doing for Promeny's mental state? And, well, he just answered it for us.
Look at the bridge and the reversal from Promeny. Popped straight back up to the feet. And that was good, you know, he stayed calm when he needed to be calm and he exploded when he needed to explode. But that shot is stuffed by SEGAS.
Promeny was looking to get to work behind that jab there, but the more powerful and crisper striker in SEGAS warded him off, forced the shot, but it's SEGAS now in charge against the cage.
Yeah, driving in on a single leg here. He's got good pinning pressure into the sternum with the shoulder. He's got to be wary of his head. We know Promeny's going to throw that guillotine. It'll be an arming guillotine. at the moment. But what Pomini can't afford to do is miss that submission and end up on his back with only 3 minutes left.
Well, the crowd here in Copenhagen cheering literally every movement Promini makes. That's a partisan crowd, and they're not afraid to let Johan SEGAS know it.
He took his eye off the ball there for a second, allowed SEGAS to change level a bit more, connect his hands around the thighs, and as soon as you do that, any credible fighter is going to be yanking your hips away from you and dropping you down to the mat.
We saw a good sweep from Promini moments ago, but of course the longer this fight wears on, the more difficult they're going to be to put into effect.
Yeah, this is a much better round for SEGAS. He's kind of taken stock of what Pomini was able to do to him in the first round, and he's kind of paying it back in spades here. Again, not as dominant position, but consistently being the aggressor, consistently pushing forward. And he's earned a couple of good takedowns here. He's looking to wrap the legs up against the base of the cage here.
SEGAS in top position here, right in front of his own corner team, barking instructions to the Frenchman from cage side. Looking to get to work with the short elbows there.
Yeah, again, good work from SEGAS, good consistent work. Hammer fist doing a good job now.
SEGAS' corner just asking for more.
He's trying to invert on a knee bar or a leg entry here. And that's a beautiful head and arm from SEGAS to shut that down immediately.
Giving Matt Promini a lot to think about in this second round, Josh.
Yeah, it's a problem, isn't it? When you commit both hands to your opponent's legs from that bottom position, it leaves your head open. As soon as your opponent grabs your head, he can move your body, control you a bit more. And SEGAS is making it a little bit unfriendly now with the forehead and the cheekbone. Really trying to grind in on Promini.
Just over a minute left to play with in this second round. 5 more if they need them. SEGAS doing a great job here.
He's looking for that Bravo choke, the Darce choke if you want to call it that. What it did do was threaten Promini enough to make him immediately give up on any sweep attempt. He's stuck in half guard here, but he's very much half mounted.
SEGAS told us earlier in the week that he's coming to not only shake up the Cage Warriors bantamweight division, but he fancies a crack at 125 again as well. So lofty aspirations from the Frenchman, and he's putting in a good bid here in the second round.
How on earth he makes 125, I've no idea. Very heavily muscled is SEGAS.
Yeah, I did have to check my notes there for a misspelling of featherweight, though. Yeah. I thought that might be the more likely of the 2 divisions for SEGAS to move to, but that is what he told us.
That's a really good second round for the Frenchman. Really has turned the momentum in this one around, and that was perhaps slightly more dominant than Promini was in the first.
You know, it's unfortunate because, you know, technically that's still a round apiece for these guys.
It's going to be 2 10-9s.
Probably the biggest drawback of the 10-9 scoring system is the situation we've just seen, whereby Promini squeaked out a win and was not dominated by any means in the second round by the literal definition, but certainly got a worse go of things than Promini did in the first.
Saw a really nice Sumigashi sweep from that single elevator sweep from Promini, and that was his takedown attempt foiled. So SEGAS really with the best periods of control. Never able to actually progress by half guard, but he did have a good little period of ground and pound in there, just to make it a bit more definite. But it's absolutely 1 round apiece here moving into the third.
And let's see if SEGAS can keep up that momentum here, or if the crowd here in the KB Holland can put the wind back in Promini's sails.
And SEGAS did the exact same takedown again. Huge overhand right. Changes level off of that immediately. And he's wrapped Promini's legs up here. And let's see what he does with SEGAS does with his left knee. Oh, there we go. Swinging all the way to the back. See, once he gets past the hips, he almost needs to drive his knee and his hip into the side of Promini's thigh to really settle that position down. But Promini forced to scramble quickly here.
Well, this is not how Matt Promini would have expected this one to go. He's used to dominating the mat game, and really has been given a taste of his own medicine here.
Yeah, and you know what? This is the pro rules. You know, you're not fighting amateurs. Everybody's, you know, a little bit higher up the food chain, a little bit more serious. He's got to block this here.
High impact takedown there from Johan SEGAS.
Yeah, he's looking to clear the guard here. Promeny starting to climb high though. He'll have an interesting grip if he can get that right leg out.
SEGAS's corner gesticulating wildly there when those legs started to climb up.
SEGAS is wrestling very nicely here. He's staying very low. He's leading with his chest and his head. And he's just keeping a lot of forward pressure on the Dane.
Promeny desperate to get back to his feet here, trying to use the cage to get a bit of leverage.
Yeah, he's got to start having a bit more impetus to get back to his feet here or to try and reverse this position. He can't sit here. He really can't just let seconds tick away from the clock.
Two huge title fights topping the bill tonight. Alex Lahore taking on the hometown fighter Nicholas Locomotivo Dalby. And of course, Soren Bak taking on Morgan Charrière for the interim featherweight title. I know Dean Truman's in the house tonight. He's going to be keeping a very close look on that one.
Oh, that would be very interesting to see what happens post-fight. Looking for a leg again is Promeny, and this time he's got a much better bite. See, that outside leg is coming on the hip, and that's critical. He's got to force SEGAS to put his hands on the mat, and he did briefly, but stripped by the Frenchman.
Yeah, from what we've seen on social media throughout the week, Dean Truman may have a couple of choice words for the winner of tonight's interim title fight. He certainly intends to let them know who they're going to have to take the Cage Warriors featherweight title from.
Promeny's found this single leg entry again, but easily ripped clean by SEGAS. If you don't get such a good tight pinch on that leg initially, you know, it's very easy for your opponent just to slip out, especially in the third round when you're this sweaty.
And you saw the referee, Rich Mitchell, there just remonstrating with Johan SEGAS about grabbing the cage. He's going to have to be very careful now. He may end up losing a point if he does that again.
Yeah, that would be really be a shame for him. He's got 1:30 left, and he's, to be fair, controlled this third round much as he controlled the second, playing a very solid but methodical top game. Oh, triangle entry.
Triangle here.
Oh, this is a great opportunity. Promeny looks to switch to the arm.
Promeny's got the armbar.
Hits in hard. He's got to control the head. Oh, and he just slips out.
Incredible stuff from Johan SEGAS there to defend that armbar.
Yeah, he cleared the head, which just gave him a little bit more space to come up off his back. And that is actually the closest anybody has come to any significant damage in this fight. But I don't know if that's going to be enough to save him. The first 4 minutes, he's really been on his back, getting outworked, although admittedly just not by that much.
Well, that arm's certainly going to hurt in the morning. Promeny looking to charge forward here with a 1-2. I mean, fall into the clinch, though.
He's got 35 seconds. He needs to throw everything at SEGAS he's got.
Good work to whip the neck round there from SEGAS and change his levels.
Yeah, Promeny's going to go to sell out on this guillotine here. It's all or nothing on this guillotine for him. He's trying to stay high.
Big squeeze there, but SEGAS able to remove his head from danger.
You knew as soon as you saw his base fall, he was going to go for that guillotine. If he didn't get it, there's not going to be enough time left. I think the Frenchman's going to take this 2 rounds to 1 as we hit the final 10-second clacker.
Couple of short punches from SEGAS there, fighting until the bell, as is Promeny. And he won't be a very popular man in Copenhagen tonight, but Johan SEGAS receives a polite round of applause, which probably was the most he could hope for from this partisan crowd. And what a victory here in his Cage Warriors debut.
Yeah, nothing, nothing outstanding, we would say. Just a good, controlling, methodical performance. Going to take a scorecard win. Let's have a look at that armbar from Promeny, which was significant, and he must have got a lot of pressure on the head there, because he was able to sit his opponent down and break the posture completely. And this is good tenacity and grit from SEGAS. You see, when he clears the head here, it just gives him a bit more space to pop through.
taking another look here. It was a triangle entry, switched to the armbar, and you aren't going to see many closer than that. Hyperextended almost, did a great job of positioning the arm and then clearing the head. Johan SEGAS just having a few final words of direction from referee Rich Mitchell there, as our judges at cage side tally their scorecards here in our opening bout on the Cage Warriors 103 prelims. And we will throw it to our MC in the cage, Mr. Paul Roast, who made it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a decision. The winner of the first bout of the evening, via unanimous decision, Johan SEGAS!
As expected, Johan SEGAS takes a unanimous decision there. The second and third round, all for the Frenchman. He will join my broadcast colleague in the cage, Mr. Josh Palmer.
I'm here with our winner, Johan SEGAS, and his coach and interpreter. Johan, congratulations on your win. How do you feel after your second pro victory?
Salut Johan, toutes mes félicitations pour ce combat. Comment tu te sens après cette seconde victoire professionnelle?
I'm really good. Thank you for all the staff, Cage Warrior. Thanks for the opportunity. And I'm really happy. Thank you. Thanks for my opponent, Mark. Thank you for.
Thank you very much. Round of applause for your winner, Johan SEGAS.
Big win there for Johan SEGAS. But let's get right back to the action here in Copenhagen. We've got middleweights on deck, Andreas Gustafsson and Ismar Blagoy.